Okay, so this video is about density. We are working on, in this video we're going to do density of an irregular solid, like this cylinder. You have to find a density of a cylinder like this in your test. So, here we go. Remember, our density formula is mass divided by volume. It's called the Love equation because it looks like a heart. Okay? So, the first thing we need to do is find our mass. And we do that with our balance. Okay, this is a triple beam balance. You just put your object on the pan. Remember that mass is measured in grams. If you ever forget which tool to use to measure mass, look for the one that has a G on it, because G stands for grams. Okay, so to do this we have to get this line, this pointer here, back to 0. We always start by moving the biggest mass. We just move them one place at a time. If it goes like this one below the 0, we know that's too much and we have to move it back to the left. So then after the hundreds, we go to the tens. So we know it's less than 20 grams. And then we do the ones. Almost. Perfect. Okay, so to get the mass, we just add these two together. 10 plus 1.3. Remember, every little line in between, it goes by 0.1. So see, that lands on the third line after 1. So that's 1.3 plus 10 is 11.3 grams for that cylinder. Okay. Good. Maybe. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to write that down. 11.3 grams. Always write everything down and label it so that you know what your numbers are and you don't mix them up. Okay. So put this back. Oops. And now we have to find the volume. For an irregular solid like this, to find volume, we do volume by displacement. To do volume by displacement, we use a graduated cylinder. So, this graduated cylinder goes up by 1 milliliter. It's always good to know what your graduated cylinder goes up by so that you can count correctly your volume. So first thing you have to do is fill it with water. It doesn't matter where you fill it up, as long as when you put the object in, it's not going to go above your top line and it completely covers your object. So you have to read the volume. You do that by getting down eye level and reading it. You have to read at the bottom of the meniscus. So this one says 51, and I'll show you in just a second. So it's starting at 51 milliliters. You never want to hold the graduated cylinder up to your eye. You need to go down and look at it. So, and see that little dark line at the top of the water? That's the bottom of the meniscus, and it's hitting the top of the 51 line. So that's why it's 51 milliliters. Okay. So we've got this, and we're going to put our cylinder in here. We tilt it like this, so we can just slide it gently down the side, and it doesn't splash too much, so that won't ruin up our volume measurement. I'm going to read the volume again. It went up to 59 milliliters. And then you have to subtract. That's the part that most people forget, is subtracting. But you subtract your first volume from your second volume, so you don't get a negative number, because you can't have a negative volume. 9 minus 1 is 8. 5 minus 5 is 0. So our volume for the cylinder is 8 centimeters cubed. Remember that 1 centimeter cubed is equal to 1 milliliter. They're the same. Milliliters are for liquids, centimeters cubed are for solids. Okay, so now we have our mass, we have our volume, we have to plug that into our density equation now. So our mass divided by our volume. Our mass is 11.3 grams divided by 8 centimeters cubed. So I'll show you what I wrote. Okay, and I'll plug that into my calculator because I don't know that off the top of my head. And it's 1.41 grams per centimeter cubed is our density. Our units for density are grams per centimeter cubed. That's saying for every 1 centimeter cubed of that cylinder, it has a mass of 1.41 grams. Okay, so that is how we find the density of an irregular solid.